Ndingulula makafunde ndingumsukweni wakwahabhana ndilila udibasha uchwama ulubisi unjabomvu isandlalanca ndingutshitshi ndinguphuphu ndingumyingo ndingumtshana kumazwango okhwalo ncutho mlanjana osobese ndingumzukulwana kumacirha ontswentso nojaholo mhlanhlo qhanqolo nyembezana ndingumzukulwana kotshonyana odikizo sawo nkomo zibomvu omthuzimele ndilimbombo ndiyambombozela ndingumntakubonquphula umntakubongqiqu umntakubongonyama ndingukrimbakrumba igorha laseAfrika ndinguwagaxaza umfazi onengxolo udade bonomatyi indodakazi kanobengazi udade bomqobethu kumhlaba semnyameni ndingubantu bonke biko ndingumangaliso sobukhwe ndinguthembisile hani ndinguvuyisile mini ndiboleke usiba kule ndoda ingumbawula ngezembe ebendiliphethe ndaqalisa ukugawula ndahlahla kwahlahleka ndihlahla indlela ndizama ukubuyela embo ndayifulathela ingqobhoko ndayibaleka ndaxila intombi ibaleka umendo kwathi kuba ndingumntu onomlando olandekayo onomnombo othandekayo namhlanje sisizwe esibulalekayo ithi yawuvutha imbawula kufudumale kobandayo ngoba amazwi ayo ngamazwi atshisayo amazwi aphilisayo athi kwindoda ebimanxebanxeba ibiseyinikezela ifumana ithemba lokuphilela ungomso ithi kuba ndiyindoda ehambayo kunyanzelekile ukuba ndiqhubeke ndithi ndawukuwa ndiphakame ndizivuthulule ndiqhubeke nohambo lwam ndifunde into engqondweni ndichubeke ndawugqiba ndikuxelela into ehlekisayo uzunyubeke ndiyabulela.
And that was Krimbakrumba with a beautiful poem titled Ndi. Hello everyone, welcome once again to another show of Learn for Life, where we mold the youth to be change makers of their communities. Ndinguye ke mina ke uZimkhitha mbinjelo uMahade mungelengele ndebe zombili umthimkhulu wasifulezile phela umvula ubhungane. It is Heritage Month, so today we'll be discussing on a topic that is very sensitive to others, mainly because maybe they will relate to it. Our topic for today is about religion and culture. But our main question is religion related to culture? Joining us on studio today, we've got Sam, who is one of our Masimisane youth leaders from Ebensinoga. We also have Krimbakrumba, who is a poet and also an artist. Let's welcome and welcome, guys.
Hello, Sisi.
Before we start, our main question is, what is religion and what is culture? Just a brief concept on that. What is religion and what is culture?
Coming to the question like culture, I think it's a way that people behave in certain groups of how can I put it, like in different tribes. Like a sort of famous, we have different tribes like it's Namandalele, Namaxhosa, and also others. So I think it's a way that you can identify those groups, that it's about behavior in terms of culture, what they eat, what type of music they listen, what in the art and stuff. I think that's the main idea that I have based on culture.
Yeah, taking it from there, I think it is the moral compass for mankind. It is what guides you on the dawns and the do's of society, how to behave among people. As my brother says, we are different, but collectively, then how to become harmonious, become unison, or in one word, as a people, we become one. So it becomes that thing that guides us as to how do we behave in society.
And that's for culture.
That is for culture and also for religion, because what religion does, culture also does, because culture is what teaches us to be. Also religion does that most of the time, it teaches us to be. However, I believe the difference between religion and culture is the spiritual side, because when people speak of religion, they like to go to spirituality, you see. Hence now, when your spirituality is founded, then also your physical being is founded, if you get what I'm trying to say.
So is there a relationship between those two?
There is always a relationship between the two. Yeah, because as I am saying that when you come from a religious background, then you know how to behave in certain stages of your life. You know what to do and what not to do. Also, when you come from a cultural background, you also behave in a certain way. But I think the difference is only in the word, if I can put it, because for me, culture is what makes a person who is supposed to be. Also, religion does that, but religion is the one that is of superiority or supreme being or creator that is beyond now the abilities of men. Hence, but culture can be taken to the practicals.
Okay, so now do you feel as if religion gives more privilege to certain cultures more than the others?
From what I know, and from my point of view is that the culture and religion are regarded as different out there in our society. So ndingafane ndithi bana ii-religions bayithatha as if something that if you do yabona into edibene ne-religion phakathi, and then there's a practice that you do cultural, they are not associated, it's different things. Yeah,
and then doing your
exactly. There are things that you don't have to do when you are a religious person. When you regard yourself as that believes in culture. So I think that's my point of view. We are there's a lot of confusion, and also they can't speculate about there's a religious person, now there's a cultural person.
Also, I think to add, the reason there is that privilege type of difference is because religion is good in culture up until the point when one tries to get rid of the other. Because now, in order for me to promote my Africanism, I'll have to demote Christianity, for example, which is now it's not going to sit well with a person that has such a foundation. So the important things is that this religion, they teach us to be people, but we fail to be tolerant and actually coexist, which is, I think that's the prime. But we are focusing merely on trying to get rid of the other so that I can exist, which is, I think that's where the danger is. We should actually find a way to be Krimbakrumba in the presence of Zimkhitha.
Okay, so let's quickly go to an ad break. We'll be back just right now.
Oh, hi parents. Always remember, if your child forgets something, it's okay. That's what children do. They forget. You may teach your child something today, and tomorrow they have forgotten. That's what they do. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with your child. Back to you in the studio.
Welcome back from the ad break. If you have missed out and just tuned in, we were speaking about religion and culture. Buti, you mentioned something about people not being tolerant when it comes to religion and culture. Do you somehow feel as if people are able to balance the two?
Not really. It's because, again, when you look at the modern times and the current times about how culture and religion have become beneficial to people, that is where now the lack of tolerance comes from, if I can say. I'm not an expert on it, but I believe that when I have benefits on certain something, I will fight for that and try to make sure that I grow it as much as possible so that I can receive more of the benefit. So that is where it comes from. So now I will try and push Africanism, not with the interests of the people at heart or the benefits, but rather for my own secret interest. And because I know when this religion of mine grows bigger, that means the benefit also grows bigger. Hence now, people will fail to be tolerant with each other because we have these desires and we only have one audience, which is the human race. So now we are all fighting over this audience without even sometimes giving them a chance to choose. It's persuasion that don't go left, because once you go left, it's this and that, don't go right. So it's that thing.
Yeah. And also, I don't know if it sounds like I'm right if I say people are bound, but I think there's a thing that abantu abalandelayo, especially when they believe in religion, yeah, in culture, because most people that they often I do believe that they're different in a way. Yeah. So I was raised by my grandma, which she believes in Bible, and she goes to Jehovah's Witnesses. So there are things that they do not tolerate and do not perform when it comes to culture, so cultural activities. So she taught me that okay, Bible says we must not engage in such activities and stuff. So I think they are bound. There's our rules to call in Bible, and also around that believes in culture now. They are bound by those rules in terms that you're not supposed to go and listen to you. So who can't just understand.
Okay, let's quickly go to our viewers. Yolisa Pandle is asking, she was raised by a family who did cultural things, but now that she's older, she's going to church, and now she's asking, how does she preach to people that they must not do cultural things, whereas she has done hers?
When I think it goes back to what just I said, people are bound by things that they believe in terms of culture and also religious. Because it was we always say stories like I think siyafana but we belong to or believe in Christianity. So there are things now if again as this land like okay no cultural activities was losing so I was like okay no I don't have to do those because but I think as Uba now you see and also you have to say about how
And I think also in danger is that the society will probably judge as someone who has fallen off. If you were a staunch Christian in your upbringing and then later on you turn into cultural things, people will consider you that you have fallen off. Or if you were a cultural person in the beginning and then now you are a person of religion, now people will say you are a betrayer or you've lost your sense of being. So it's a serious matter that she just has to investigate with herself. But how do I fit in?
Okay. Wandile Sola is asking, in the Bible they say, uThixo uthi uzunganquli abanye uThixo ngoba ndinguThixo onesikhwele. Kodwa when we turn to izinyanya zethu siyanqula phaa. So how do we juggle that?
This one, for me, it's as simple as if I subscribe to a particular religion and it requires me to do certain things, I believe I'll have to do that. Otherwise, then I am not fully of that. For example, in my life as a student, I was a Muslim, I had to have a name. My name was Abdul Razak. I had to also wear the attire. I was wearing a kofif, you see. I also had to not eat pork, you see. So as now I get to learn about my African self, I find my African self. Now I'm trying to wear those fanana zangwan. I'm wearing my beadwork, meaning that because I subscribe to this thing, I have to now do. So it comes with all these religions or cultures that there are things you have to do to prove that you are indeed what you say you are. So I don't think it's a form of punishment per se, but it's a way of saying you say that you are what, then be it. It shouldn't be hard, you see. But the problem is me saying that I'm an African and then find it hard to be when I have to be one.
Okay, let's go to our last.
Can I also answer that?
Okay.
Yeah, because we are not going to Daniel when he talks about the Bible. Because we're telling you, about uThixo said from the word that and then there's no other gods and stuff. So I have several in a way that what works for you. Because I really believe in the Bible and I also believe that I'm a praying man. I'm also I don't believe there are other things that people and stuff then I have to praise and stuff. So I think it goes perspective that what works for you as a person. I think it's
okay. So our last viewer is Umbali Nginza. She's asking kwenzeka ntoni ngegeneration yangoku because dala sasifundiswa into yoba uzongabi nomuntu onesiduko sakho, but nowadays people are dating people with the same clan names.
Yeah. You see, now that is where the trick comes from. You are raised in a Christian environment or in a religious environment. Let me not say Christian, in a religious environment. But now you also have this thing of culture. That's where clan names matter. But when you are a religious person, most of the time the clan name thing doesn't matter. You see. So now when you practice this, it has now it disadvantages because you end up now even falling in love with your brother or your sister because you do not know yourself. Because the clan names, they show us that we are an extension. You are not a family just with the ones in your household, but you are a family with other families.
So umuntu ubamba into ngumakhatelo wakwamvinjelo mhlawumbe wena ungukhatelo wakwafundi.
But we are still brother
We are
and
still-
sister. We are still
yeah.
blood. You see.
Okay.
But it's just that with growth, you see, that's why people start with a home and then it becomes a community and a nation. So Ohadem have been spreading throughout the world.
Yeah.
So now you will immediately, when you see another Hadebe, you will have some connection or an attraction towards that person. Even if, for example, it's a female, you feel like, wow, this person, I think I can be friends with her. Only to find out later, no, actually, exactly. You see, that is the blood, that is the natural order of things. However, now, if we do not have the teachings so that we can identify such, then we are in trouble. You will think now that this is true love or it's love at first sight.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do you think as Africans we have neglected our culture and focused more on religion?
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna make it simple again because I'm like that. I'm gonna make it like personal from what
Yeah.
I know, because I don't really believe about want to like it about I'm not sure but so I like I've neglected Italian culture. Yeah, when I'm trained in that dance, just because of that's how I want to live as Italian art. I want to art because I'm a dancer. Yeah, but I don't really believe that. Okay, we are trained because of I have to practice zonke as cultural activities because musikwaXhosa bathi abantu bayaklensa because of yombela and stuff yabo. So no, I don't and cleanse just because of kukho into le yabo mhlawumbe omnye ukhubizo all great man umakhulu abadala kwenzeke nani. So I really believe that mnandi kwenza le religion yabo. So the call it Bible. So I just follow everything that goes in Bible.
Yeah, you heard that answer.
Yes, I did. So before we close the name, our last question is, now how do you balance the two? Do you only focus on one, or can we balance the two?
My principal in high school, he used to give me a wonderful advice that when you are doing two things at the same time, the one that will excel is the one that you give more attention to. Even if when you say, I got it balanced, yeah, but the one that you're really giving attention to is the one that will be predominant or that will stand out. And when you look at society, we can see that culture has been falling off and religion has been taking over. Even people of cultural beliefs and practices, they're focusing on more spirituality than the general norm. When you go to people of religion, also they're trying to center it around themselves, for example. Others even say that God is colorless or God doesn't even have a description, nor a church. You do not now have to go to church, but rather you can directly go to the Creator or to the Supreme Being. So it is there that you can see somehow not as people we've come to a time where you're gonna be individuals first to be united again, because it takes knowing yourself to be united with the other person. So I believe without us taking a decision, we've gone to the stage of go find yourself and then come back to us. Because when you don't have knowledge of self, we can't even unite on basic things. Yeah. So for me, what's happening with religion becoming dominant is because culture probably, I would say, it has had its chance. Now maybe religion is going to be its chance. And you must remember what I said in the beginning, that culture and religion moral compass. They intend to guide people towards good. Because as much as these bad things are happening, culture and religion are trying to make sure that they are eradicated. So we have good in the world.
So sizivele guys, if abantu bafuna unifumana banganifumana phi?
Okay. Umna ke ndiyafumaneka ndisezwide ngokuhlala apha eBhayi, and then ke ndiyafumaneka kuFacebook nguKrimbakrumba Black Power Weekend or PPW. Also ke ndiyafumaneka nakwaba-TapTap 063-585-1881.
Alright, I can again difumaneka Twitter, Instagram @Sam_MR Zoe Twitter accounts. So mhlawumbe ufuna ukupublisha ke but ke I have my own group abangeke baxhasisa khona ke because I also do lana kind of party yomxhenso and also ne-sport which is the modern dance. So ngifuna ke accounts zombili @Sam_MR.
Thank you very much, guys. So as we end off our show, nibe ne-heritage emandi, guys. Sizawuphela ngomxhenso waseBen Sinoka. Let's enjoy. Bye.